What's up, Mushmelon?
Oh, interesting. I was going to go with Mulch Monster for you. We both went with MM. That was cool. You're a mulchy monster.
We're both fucking exhausted. Miss Bex from Liminal Earth came up this weekend and helped me. Well, we thought we were going to rip out my front yard, but turns out that's not a thing that can happen.
The two of you thought you were going to do it.
Yeah, I thought I was going to roll up my grass like a fucking rug. And turns out it's dead. And we just hacked at it with shovels in the 100-degree sun for a fucking whole day. And all of us almost died and threw up all day.
I knew two people were not going to be able to remove an entire lawn in one day.
It was so bad. This is one of my worst. Oh, jeez.
Oh, geez. Welcome to the podcast, Toad.
A loud one, Bubbies. It's a disaster. So we did make some progress. The yard is about 23% done.
That's pretty generous.
I know. Whatever, those two side sections are done ish, and then the front section's done, so we just have to do the two middle main ones. I don't want to talk about it anyway. The point is, I'm fucking exhausted. I didn't even fully rest from my dad being here building a fence with my dad, and then like 2 days after, I rip out my whole front lawn like a psychopath. So my whole body hurts and I'm fucking exhausted, and I had to go to work today and I so didn't want to go, but I did. I'm tired. Somebody today, I got to tattoo words on somebody's face today.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, it was crazy. See, the thing is that girls are so fucking sick of male tattooers being disgusting and not listening to them and whatever, being like brash and too heavy-handed and just shitheads. So most women that I talk to don't even want to go to male tattooers anymore. And so she comes with this idea and she starts talking about it, and I go, why do you think I can do this? I'm like, I thought what you wanted was easy, and I'm not used to it because I'm a cosmetic tattooer. And then we just fucking went for it, and it came out good. I did good.
Good work, buddy.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself. I did good. And she was like, yeah, I love it, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, and now it's a good ass experience. And she won't look at it and think about a terrible shop experience with some douchebag.
Yeah. Focus on the win.
Yep.
Not on the lawn.
Not on the lawn. I just keep staring out my front window like something magical is going to happen. Like it's just going to be like a fairyland out there that I didn't have to do any work on.
Someday.
We're getting there. Oh, I wanted to say too, the documentary that I told everybody about last week, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, fucking jeez. Never got so many messages ever. They're like, oh my God, thank you for telling me to watch this. Thank you for telling me to watch this. It's the craziest doc. And okay, so yeah, last week when I told you I had to get off of here because they were going to play the last two parts on TV, at the end, they showed that they're showing the other girl's side later in this summer. So now everybody's like, where is it? Give me the rest of it. So excited. You should really just watch it.
I might. I was busy. I had to go to the mall today.
I know, the fucking decrepit ass abandoned mall.
I walked into that mall today. There was a guy out front and he was sweeping up like cigarette butts from out front. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't like, it's so funny because he wasn't wearing any kind of like custodial uniform or anything that said he worked for the mall. He looked like a guy who just rolled up with a broom and was like, I'm going to make this place look better. Then I walked in and the first, I don't know, like 100 feet, there's just nothing.
No stores?
Just nothing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, holy shit. And then the first store I came to was like a jewelry store. And there's 8 people working in there and no customers.
I know. I was thinking I want to go shopping soon for my road trip and stuff because I need like a couple outfits for like the fights and like going out. And I'm like, I don't know where to go. I don't know how to shop in person anymore. But I have to try stuff on because I'm so sick of ordering stuff online. Then you get it and it just doesn't fit right. And then you just look like shit.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. So to my surprise, I discovered that our mall has a Spencer's in it.
That's wild.
Which I didn't even know they still existed.
I did not either.
And it is still just Spencer's. It's like coffee cups in the shape of boobs and testicles, black light posters, a ton of bongs.
Cool.
And like adult party games. Like Fart on Your Face, a party game for adults. And I'm like, what is this place? So weird. But To your point about shopping in person, there's a big JCPenney that's still open in the back of the mall. So I went back there to look for like shirts, just like white button-up shirts and black button-up shirts. There's a reason people don't shop in person anymore. Like a white button-up men's shirt, $39.99.
Yeah, I think that's a completely normal price point, Tenny. What's the complaint here?
There's no way a white Oxford button-up shirt should be $40.
You literally, yeah. What year do you think it is right now? What? That's like a completely normal price for any garment that you could buy, literally.
I guess I'm just used to
Buying them for $1 at the thrift store?
yes, thrift stores and going shopping with my parents when I was 11.
Holy shit. Yeah, just don't look at any items when you're out. Do you still think bread is like 49 cents?
No, isn't bread is like $1.50 or something, right?
No, not the bread I buy. No.
But once again, JCPenney, at least 30 people employed by JCPenney walking around and 4 customers.
Yeah, it's going down in flames.
Woo.
Woo. All right. Anyway, you guys, this is an EVPs episode where we're going to take listener calls. This will be our third one. Is this our third one?
I think so. Wait a second. One more thing about the mall.
Oh, go. Shoot. Go.
I had to get an earring for a Strange Escapes 80s party costume.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the only place in the mall that was open where I could buy earrings?
Claire's.
I had to go to Claire's, ladies and gentlemen.
Shout out Claire's. Shout out Cass, who won our contest.
Claire's. I walked in, picked out some earrings, exactly what I needed.
That's what it's there for.
That's what it's there for. I almost got them because they were doing free ear piercings. And I was like, should I get 2 more done?
Are you going to keep that shit in?
No.
No.
All right. So anyway, this call-in episode.
Yeah, let's say EVPs episode. We're going to get to the calls. They better be good.
Have you not pre-listened to these calls?
I did for some of them, but then sometimes I'll just stop it halfway through. So I don't know. I am going to play this one first, though, because you hate when I do that.
I hate when you say member.
I literally never say the beginning of the word remember, ever. It's not, I just say it like I'm 3 years old. 8, 10, you remember when we went, I can't.
Remember that Slurpee?
Remember when we went to...
Remember our zoo trip?
It sounds cute when you say it. Why do you hate when I say it?
I don't know.
Anyway, do y'all remember when on one of our EVPs episodes, the guy called in about finding the giant Santa Muerte statues in the barn at his job? And we, around the Twitter sphere, know a Santa Muerte expert who was kind enough to call into our line. So I'm going to play that call now. And here we go.
Hi, Jessica and Penny. This is Professor Andrew Chestnut. I am the leading academic expert on Santa Muerte. One of your callers called in yesterday about finding the Santa Muerte skeleton saint in an attic in Splendora, Texas. So I thought I'd provide some quick context and background. Santa Muerte, which translates into English as both Saint Death and Holy Death, is the fastest growing new religious movement in the entire Western world. It originated in Mexico during the Spanish colonial period, and she's kind of a fusion mashup figure between the Spanish Grim Reaper. Yes, in Spain it was a female Grim Reaper, and pre-Columbian death deities, particularly the Aztecs had one called Mictecacihuatl, who was a female goddess of the underworld. And anyway, this only emerged as a public devotion in 2001, 2 decades ago. And now I estimate there's some 12 million devotees who are mostly in Mexico, but secondarily here in the United States. But now there's devotees in Europe, Australia, the Philippines, pretty much all over the globe. And it's no coincidence that this happened in the far-flung suburb of Houston. Houston has the second largest Mexican and Mexican-American population in the United States after Los Angeles. Los Angeles is the mecca of Santa Muerte, and Houston probably has the second most devotees. But I would correct the caller in that this is not only a devotion among Latinos and Latinas in the United States. There are a lot of Black and white Americans. In fact, I curate the largest Facebook group for Santa Muerte devotees. named after my book, which is the only academic book in English. Now it's in its second edition, called Devoted to Death, Santa Muerte, the Skeleton Saint. And the devotees in that group are diverse. They're Latino, they're white, they're Black, they're Italian, they're Polish, Filipino, Indian, etc. So specifically, those statues in the closet is interesting. The Black one, the most prominent one, had some dollar bills in her hand, and that obviously was made as a petition for prosperity, for riches, for abundance, for wealth, because one of the main type of miracles that devotees believe that Santa Muerte, the skeleton saint, grants is that of prosperity, of wealth and abundance. So besides that, we really don't see any of.
So, okay, so the bad news is I don't have the rest of that message. It's not there, and there's no second message. But the good news is we have another What's Up Weirdo and Friends live show coming up on June 16th on YouTube.
And Professor Chestnut will be on it.
So he can school us all on the rest of what was supposed to be on that message, give us more insight. And then another thing I will do is in the What's Up Weirdo Instagram bio and in our Patreon, I have a link to an Amazon like storefront suggestions thing that I put together, where I try to recommend a bunch of stuff by stuff that I like, and like books and tarot decks and stuff by friends. So I will put his book in there so it's easy for you guys to find.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Look at that. People calling in clarification, sometimes professors.
I know, professors even. I love that. No, I watched this. He posted on Twitter this wild interview he did with this girl who's like Christian, but she's like aggressively Christian. And you could tell he was really trying to educate her on everything, and everything was just, she was not having any of it. She was like, this is evil, everything you're saying is evil, blah blah blah. It was like brutal to watch, but it was like a really good watch. So anyway, I want to get more of his thoughts on that, because he was trying to be so nice, but like, bro,
that sounds like when I have conversations with Chip Coffee.
Well, why would she even have him on there if you were just gonna like denounce everything that he was fucking saying and like roll your eyes the whole time? Like she was brutal, but he was very eloquent and nice, and got through it really well. It just felt it was awkward. It was awkward. All right, next message.
Hey guys, this is Chelsea calling in from Providence, Rhode Island. I am a Patreon, and so just now, while at work, I saw a phone call coming in from Detroit, and for some reason, I don't know how, I was like, oh my god, what if it's Jessica, Penny, and Toad calling me? I don't know why you do that. I'm not even sure why I thought you would have my phone number, but to make super sure, because I don't answer calls I don't know, I Googled the phone number. And yes, it was indeed a Detroit, Michigan line. And yet on my work computer, it now looks like I was looking up phone numbers for, wait for it, an escort service. So I don't care if you share this on the mailbag episodes at all. I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. And I was like, oh my god, it's the WooPod people. But let me Google it quickly on my work computer. Oh wait, no, that phone number is for an escort service out of Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, no.
So there you go. Hope that made you giggle. I adore y'all. Thank you for everything that you do, and I'll see you or hear you on the pod and whatnot. Okay, bye.
Are you trying to fix me up with people? Did you call her Jessica?
No, I didn't. She said it was the escort service. Am I a professional escort service? No.
I don't know what kind of business you have set up in the background.
It's about the only thing I don't have that I do. For fuck's sake. All I do is do things, hustles, jobs.
Someone else in Detroit is hustling too.
I think she's so funny where she was like, maybe it's a call from Jessica and Tenny and Toad. Like Toad's gonna be on the phone.
You just squeaks.
I know, he's just on the pod. He's like, hi, it's Toad. Okay, next message.
Hi guys, I'm calling from New Brunswick, Canada, and I'm making spaghetti and I'm half in the bag and I'm listening to you guys and you make me laugh all day. and I've got tickets to Paracon in August, so I'm super stoked about that. But I love you both. I have lots of stories, but none I'm going to tell here. I just want to tell you that I love you, and I love you. Okay, goodbye.
Yay.
Yeah, that's nice and sweet. Look at that.
Yeah, we love you too.
I feel like I get like that too when I drink sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
where I just call and I don't really have anything to say. I just want to be friends. That happens to me. That's why I call you when I'm drunk.
I know. I was telling the girls, I'm like, I'm so exhausted. I can't even talk. And Tenny's called me twice. on Sunday. I can't even move my arm to answer the phone. And you just were like, hi, I'm at the bar.
I'm at the bar. I want to be friends. I'm at the bar.
Okay. Next message.
Hey guys, this is CJ calling from Missouri. I am slap happy and driving home from Dollar General, and I thought that it would be a great fucking time, because we could swear, to share what happened to me a couple days ago. Let's see, I was driving home again, and I heard a couple songs on the radio, and if I had heard them on their own, it wouldn't have been anything, but since I heard them in quick succession, one right after the other, it seems that it was a message. And this is not the first time it's happened. Usually they seem to be from my stepdad, like songs from his funeral, songs with his name in them, and they all just happen at the same time. And I was feeling kind of blue, down in the dumps that day, so it picked me right up. And I was just wondering if you all have ever experienced that, like songs on the radio, or just little things that happen on their own, or sorry, like I said, I'm slap happy. I'm losing track of my thoughts here. Anyway, if you have had just random things happen to you, but they happen clustered up to where you take meaning out of it, I know we all talk about this kind of thing all the time, and I just wanted to hear any examples you all have. All right, I love you guys. Y'all are fucking weird and beautiful, and keep doing what you're doing. Bye.
So this is slightly synchronistic because Sunday when I was at the bar, I saw two friends of ours, and we were talking about the fact that this week in Royal Oak, the band Love and Rockets is coming on concert. Mm-hmm. And one of our friends started telling me a story about when he had a cat, he would play the song Alive by Love and Rockets. And it was the only song the cat would jump up on the top of the record player and lay down while the record was playing. And the day that his cat passed away, he was driving back from the vet and he stopped to have a drink at the bar because he was sad. And he walked in and Alive by Love and Rockets started playing on the jukebox. And he was telling me how, like, even though this has happened 10 years ago, he still remembers, like, that was a message from the universe telling him, like, his cat, like, is still there.
That is so fucking cute.
I think things like that happen all the time. I talk about it in my lectures. It happens so much that people forget that it's happening.
Yeah, me and you are big, like, always look out for the little signs from the universe. Like, we get that shit. Like, it honestly, it happens so much that I wouldn't even think, like, I wouldn't know what it was like when it wasn't happening. I feel like I get like 5 of those a day. Like, it's just always we're just always tuned in, and like it's been happening the last week too, because I've been having some issues that I don't want to talk about, and I have said it on here before too, that my aunt who passed away when I was younger, her name was Robin, and in my absolute darkest times where I'm just like, those times where you don't even know what you're thinking, you can't even talk or think, you're just like blindly like looking out at the window or like whatever, I'll always see Robin when I'm just like spiraling, and it's happened twice this week at really weird times. So
yeah. I don't know why it comes in the forms that it comes in, but to the caller's point, like for me, maybe it's because I was a musician and I was in bands for so long and I play musical instruments, but it does a lot happen to me with songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
The other thing is too, is, you know, songs like Scent immediately trigger so many memories.
Oh yeah.
That's why it's so powerful. Like I can remember, like a song can hit me the way a scent, you can pick up a scent and be like, oh, that was that's the way a person smelled that I dated 25 years ago. Like you immediately remember. The same thing with songs. When I get into a weird situation, like you said, and then all of a sudden I'll go outside and my neighbors are playing that song on their record player outside by their garage, and I'll be like, oh, that's a little message.
Yeah. Always look out for the messages. The universe has your back. Okay, next message.
Hi, John, Jess. This is Brian from Omaha. I really enjoyed your story, Jess, when you were talking about the horror convention and people dressed up and walking around in all the cool outfits. Let me tell you a little story. I, on occasion, host movies at the local Omaha Draft House. And back in 2018, I was asked to dress up in my screen-accurate Michael Myers garb and walk around and let people take their photo with me and spook some people and just be a good sport about it, right? Well, 99% of the people were great. However, one couple thought it would be real fun to invite me to their home after the movie. And I don't know if they wanted Michael Myers to kind of watch them or join in, but I, as Michael Myers, cocked my head to the side, did the Michael Myers kind of stare down, and silently declined their gracious and generous offer to accompany them at home. And then another night, this happened over a whole weekend. Another night, one family was having their picture taken with me, and this guy leaned in real heavy, and he reeked of Jim Beam and Budweiser, and he got in my ear and said, "I want you to kill my mother-in-law. I'm not kidding."
Ew.
So again, I did the Michael Myers tilt of the head and promptly removed myself from the situation. So anyway, those are the little memories that popped up when you were talking about your horror convention stories. Hope you guys are happy and healthy, and we'll see you around. Bye!
Bye.
Oh, that was hilarious. I never thought that like somebody at a horror convention would be like, "Hey, would you lurk in the corner and watch me and my wife?"
I had, I think I talked about this once on the podcast. I was dressed up as like a scarecrow and I stood in front of my parents' house one Halloween and was scaring people. And obviously, like a guy was coming with his kids and he was super hammered too. And he was holding his daughter in his arms. She was maybe 2 or 3 years old. And he had seen me scaring people. And he came up to me and he leaned in, same way that this probably happened with Brian. And the guy just reeked of booze. And he goes, "I see you jumping up and scaring people." And then he like whips his daughter around into my face and he goes, "Scream in my daughter's face, make her cry." And I like stood up and I was like, "I have to go in the house." And like, he was like, "I want you to scare my daughter." And I like went in the house. I was freaked out.
Yikes! Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Also, weird synchronicity because last night I had a dream that I woke up, came downstairs, went outside, and Michael Myers was standing in the street. And then I realized I was having a dream, and I woke back up in bed.
Nope, you weren't having a dream. That was real. How do you feel? How you feel about that? All right. Next message.
Hi, Jessica, John, and Toad. This is Corey calling from Hawaii. I just had a dream about you. I dreamt I was
Sync.
lint rolling John's shoulders, and he was telling us a story about how he was telling his fans to fuck you. And we were laughing about it. And then Jessica was like, "I want food." So I brought you guys chocolate muffins. And then I was trying to be funny. Anyway, I thought I'd just share because it was a dream that I just had. And thanks for the show. It's awesome. And I'm wondering if Don has any stories, like scary stories or spooky stories he could share about when he was in Hawaii. Okay, thanks. Keep up the good work. Bye.
Bye.
First of all, I love that her story is about being at a convention or whatever or an event with us, and my quote is, "I want food." Spot on, perfect. Me at every event we do.
That's so silly.
Perfect.
The couple of times I've been in Hawaii, that even though I've had some spooky ghosty things happen there, the scariest stories I have from Hawaii don't involve ghosts or anything like that. They have like, there was one night where I was out swimming by myself in the darkness and I thought that there was a scuba diver underneath me. And so I dove beneath the dark waters and reached my hand out and it was an enormous sea turtle underneath me. And it scared the shit out of me because I realized that it was really big and that there were things in the ocean that eat that thing. So I don't have a shell. And then I got really panicked and I was really far away from shore. Don't go swimming in the ocean at night by yourself. It was a really dumb idea. And then the other scary time is when I was with this guy that I had met in Hawaii and he took me into a cave underneath a mountain to swim in a lake. And then we swam. Then we swam in the lake and he went all the way over to the side where the mountain was. And he said, okay, now hold your breath and follow me into this tunnel. And he held his breath and disappeared beneath the water. I swam to where he was, and I could feel that there was a tunnel under the water with my foot. So I held my breath and went through a tunnel underneath the water, underneath a mountain. And when I came up, I was in another part of the lake, and it was beautiful, but extremely frightening. And then he started acting a little weird and sketchy, so I had to get out of there.
That's like one of my worst nightmares. I'm never do when they do that shit in movies. I'm like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. No, you don't go under and then wait and see if you're gonna come back up. No, we're not doing that. I'm never doing that.
You only live once.
No way. No way. Oh, P.S. Before I start the next message, these have been so many states.
I know, crazy.
The whole country. I love it. I love hearing where people are when they start their messages. And I love everybody's cute accents. That Missouri accent that went by was real good. All right.
Why, hello, it's I, Jinx, from Northern California. Greetings to Jessica, Penny, Toad, Ghost Bean, and all. Y'all sound like a 1950s street gang, by the way. And all my spooky weirdo friends. So, figured you were the folks to call. I have been working in the kitchen in my friend's house while she's upstairs working remotely. And I look over and see Becca, my friend, see Becca walking on the other side of the room. And I turn back to the little cutting board. And I was like, oh, that was not Becca. And I turn, and of course the person is gone. It seems like a maybe 60, 65-year-old woman with like perfect gray grandmother hair. And I was kind of like, this is the first time I've actually seen color on a spirit, or really, I've seen shapes before. I've seen some kind of color and mist kind of. It sounds, anyway, but I've heard things before. In New Orleans, I was walking down a cobblestone street way at the end of Decatur late at night, and I heard these like hard sole shoes like men wore up until like the 1960s. Kenny probably wears them now. And it was coming up behind me, the little footsteps, so I moved over, and they stopped, and I looked, and ain't nobody around. So the auditory, and definitely the feeling, especially like ancient history places, maybe not ancient history, revolutionary Paris stuff, I really like kind of felt. But this was the first time I saw someone, and it didn't really freak me out, but I went to tell Becca, and in her tradition with her family, we smudged the house and we kind of went around talking. It was a very cool experience, but I'm just tripping because I've never seen color. Like, I could tell you what she's wearing. Like, what the hell? And of course, your mind's like, I fucking don't believe it. But it was cool. And because of learning from all my paranormal friends and all the paranormal compatriots, it seems like she was it not intelligent spirit, but God damn it. Well, y'all know. Yeah. So that was really cool. And I'm pretty pumped. So a little excited. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap this up.
There is a second part, but do you have anything to say before I play the second part?
No, I'll wait until the second part.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, Jinx again. I'm so sorry for the double message. I know we got to keep things moving. But I did want to ask the same family whose house I was at, Becca's wife, Corey, actually, used to live in this old apartment downtown Santa Rosa. And she told me once that place was like really difficult to sleep in because her apartment was kind of like a highway for spirits. I'd never heard of anything like this. That I think she said there were like some noises, but it was definitely, she saw and felt that her cat would just go from one end to the other of the apartment. And she definitely had this like, hey guys, we gotta stop. You gotta root somewhere else, go around my apartment, please. But I guess it just went on forever, and just multiple spirits and, what have you through the night. And I was wondering if you had heard of anything like that. I think she was able to calm down the flow of traffic. I forget that piece of the story, but her cat also chilled out after a while, forgetting what she did. But curious about that. Any explanation? Any ideas? All right. Sorry. Love you.
Yeah, I've heard of stuff like that, but there seem to be like pathways that spirits will take, and for some reason they just find it easier to move through them. Like, who knows why? Like, does it have something to do with the electromagnetic fields of the earth or the way that they moved when they were alive? Like, I don't know, but there's a building in Ferndale, Michigan, and it seems like there is a kind of spiritual pathway that moves through a couple of apartment buildings and a house. And when you look at where they're positioned, it's a completely straight line through them.
Mm.
So I don't know what it is about that area and that strip, but I've heard of stuff like that where it seems like they're all taking the same route.
Well, speaking of sinks, I tweeted about your ghost show that you had with Chad earlier today called Ghost Stalkers. And on every fucking episode of your show, you talked about portals. Isn't this a fucking portal? Or am I not understanding portals?
God, I hated that the producer of that show loved the word portals. And
I like it too. Portal.
You know how many people thought we were saying porthole, like on a ship?
Hey, Tenny, remember when you had a show with portals?
I tried to describe to them that there may be places in the world that are more easily accessible, not so much pathways, but doorways.
Yeah, it's the same thing. That's what she's saying.
I don't know if it is. I'm talking about like they seem to move on an actual path where a portal is just like popping into the space and then you can pop back out of it.
Yeah, I think she's just saying like a place that's just overly active where stuff can come in and out of.
Yeah, that would be more like a window or a portal or a window area, something like that.
Yeah, so Jinx, you should watch Ghost Stalkers on Amazon Prime.
And I apologize for all of the portal talk.
Portals.
There's one episode, those episodes are 44 minutes long. There's one episode where we say portals 38 times in 44 minutes.
Let's break it. Portal, portal, portal. No, I was kidding. All right, next message.
Hi guys, it's your fun internet pal Swan. I currently have a head cold, so my voice is going to be real deep and nasally and weird. There's a lot of things I wanted to talk about, so I'm going to try to keep this concise. Okay, so telepathy. How do y'all feel about telepathy? Does it come up in investigations? Do you feel like activity is responding to your thoughts as well as any prompts that you might be speaking out loud?
Yes.
You feel comfortable bringing that up in the middle of an investigation if you feel like your cohorts aren't necessarily comfortable with the concept of telepathy. Anyway, just wanted to open-endedly bring that up because I just feel like it comes up a lot. Don't want to get too deep in the first phone call, but yeah, I guess when you're on an investigation, you ever feel like your own perception, your consciousness is affecting the investigation, and I guess that ties into the telepathy. All right, moving right along. I have a fun story that I want to tell. Probably don't have enough time, but one time I was home alone and I decided to bring out a microphone outside, and I had been developing a telepathic relationship with the spirit of what I interpreted to be a Sasquatch in my parents' backyard. And one night I was just feeling a lot of love, and I know that there's a lot of response from love as well as fear with entities such as this, etc. But I shot out a burst of love, and just in that moment, I heard a rock hit the shed that I was sitting in front of, and that had never happened before. And I have a recording of it. I'll share it with you guys someday. I just wanted to share that. Okay, last thing. What's your favorite Planet of the Apes movie? Because I just watched Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and it's nuts. And I figured that Penny has an opinion about this. And maybe you do too, Jeff. I have so many questions. I want to hang out and talk more, but I'm running out of time. I love you both so much. Thank you for everything that you do. Oh, I'm going to drink some water. Much love.
People who have heard me lecture I talk all the time about, I don't think that ghosts actually hear our voice. I think they divine our thoughts when you're talking about like telepathy. I think that, since ghosts don't have physical ears, they don't hear the way we hear. So I think that they are divining our thoughts more than they're actually hearing our words. So yes, and I think that when we talk about telepathy, all of its different forms, whether it's clairaudience or clairsentience, like the fact that people will pick up a smell. Sometimes I think that smell isn't really a smell in the environment, I think that you're picking it up on a telepathic level.
Mm-hmm. I think that too.
Yeah.
But
So,
either or, though.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But that's why I always tell people when we investigate, like I don't investigate most of the time with equipment or very little equipment, because at this point in my journey, I'm fairly convinced that my body is the best piece of machinery for divining when something is odd or off, or I'm experiencing something that could be called paranormal.
Yeah.
And then psychic Sasquatch, I'm all in.
Yeah, super. That was my favorite call so far.
I'm super in. I'm always in on a spiritual Sasquatch, because Sasquatch originates as an earth spirit. It was, the original idea of a Sasquatch is more tied to legends and folklore of like nature spirits than it is to a big ape roaming around out in the forest, which I think can happen too. Which also leads me to Beneath the Planet of the Apes is my favorite. It's the craziest Planet of the Apes film. It's such a good pick. It's so amazing.
Obviously, I have nothing to add to that because I've never seen it. But
let me just tell you, you go from Planet of the Apes, which is just, a couple of astronauts being on a planet full of apes, to Beneath the Planet of the Apes, where you now have astronauts underneath an old destroyed city with mutants from a radioactive, like it's crazy. It's gone completely bonkers. And it's the ending of that, spoilers. Can I spoil Beneath Planet of the Apes?
no.
All right.
Can't
It
spoil movies.
It has one of the best endings ever.
I just like that they went in their backyard and telepathically sent a burst of love to Sasquatch. That made me happy.
That made me happy too.
I really need people to telepathically send people bursts of love. Really made me happy. Okay. Next message.
Hello, Jessica and Mr. Penny. Jessica, it's your godmother here. You are actually bothering me right now, texting me whilst I'm trying to ask you a question. So stop, lady, for a second. Okay, my question for you two dolls, my favorite dolls in the whole wide world, is if you could go back to any era to live in, like not forever, maybe for 10 years, what would you pick? Would you go back decades, centuries, Egyptian civilization, like South American civilization? What would you do? I was talking with my husband about this, and I said I would probably, initially I went straight to, I'd be in the 1940s. Oh no, I'd be in the Edwardian era. Oh no, I'd be in the 50s because I love the frocks and the hair and all that sort of stuff. Then I was like, oh no, I'd definitely go 70s because I could still pull some of that wardrobe out. And then I also love all the TV shows and the music and all that sort of stuff. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going with my era, the 90s. For me, it's the 90s, like the music was freaking awesome. It was that era between, you could still play a cassette. You could get a CD player. Not everything was recorded. There was no social media. It was, like when I think back on those days, I feel like it's quieter. Like it's a different energy because there's not, it's just, I think the electronics make everything feel different now. It's almost like a different reality for me. So mine would be the 90s, where I could wear a flannelette around my waist, a pair of Docs. And, I could go to, which I did, a Nirvana concert. It was just a lot of fun. And I think everyone was just happier. There was no Cold War at that time. There was no huge debts. I mean, yes, parts of Africa was starving. We feel very sad for that. But the image we were shown was peace and prosperity and all that sort of stuff. So for me, it's the 90s. Let me know what you think. And Jessica, would you have got the Rachel haircut? Because Friends was the 90s. Let me tell you about my age really quickly. That I'm so old that when I had some staff members in the 2010 era, one of the girls had a boyfriend, and I said, oh, you're breaking up. I want to break like Ross and Rachel. And she said, who's that? Mm-hmm. She was in her 20s. Yeah, tell me.
Well, is that it? Is that over? Yeah, it ended. Yes, I would get the Rachel haircut.
What time period are you going to?
My answer when I get asked this is always, I would want to be like 18 or 19 or 20 or 21 in like the 50s, like late 50s, like when Elvis was around and all of that music and that time. But then I also like wouldn't mind being like 25, 24-ish in like the 80s when music was sick as fuck.
It wasn't so great.
Okay, yeah, but then I also like when she added like other stuff like Egyptian shit in other times. Like I don't know even know how it would decide. What about you?
Am I just going back like tonight? I can just jump in a machine and go backwards and spend some time somewhere.
Any era, yeah.
Yeah. So I've always said I would never go really far back in time just because it's so long ago. Yes, I'm interested in Egypt and South America and the Mayans, the Aztecs, who built Easter Island, all that stuff, of course, fascinates me. But because I'm so in my own head, I've always said that I would like to go back to the 60s and I would like to see my parents meet. Or I would like to go back to the early 70s and watch me as just an insane, like, 8-year-old.
And then we could go to like the Kennedy speak and shit. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. Well, yeah, mine would work for that if I was like in my late teens, early 20s, in the 50s. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. I'd never wanted to change anything about my past, but I've always wanted to go back and watch me.
I don't want to do that at all.
I want to creep on myself and be like, oh, don't talk to her. Oh, this is a bad mistake. Don't date her. And then watch me date that and be like, oh, like, what were you thinking?
You can't change history. This isn't fucking Back to the Future.
I'm not changing it. I'm creeping on myself.
You are creepy. That is true. All right.
Hi, this is Leanne from Wisconsin. I just wanted to call and tell you how much I am enjoying Mr. Ballin. I'm totally addicted to it. So thank you for the suggestion. And my bucket list dream is to go and have a smoke with Penny somewhere outside. So thank you. Bye.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
That's right. Shout out Mr. Ballin. I fucking love Mr. Ballin.
If anybody ever comes to any events I do, there's ample opportunity to sit outside and have a smoke with me.
All right, that's all you do. I think Mr. Ballin's going to start touring, so I'm going to go see Mr. Ballin live for sure.
When are we going to start touring?
Whenever.
All right.
I know I was thinking about throwing something together for our trip, but I don't know if I feel like it. I just want
to vibe out.
I just want to vibe. But maybe next trip. I'm going to do 2 more. That's it.
All right.
Okay.
Hi, this is Chris. I'm calling from Bridgewater, New Jersey. I feel really weird calling, but I have something to like say to Kenny. And it's like really weird, but it's meant as a compliment, like the highest compliment. So, Kenny, I know you probably have watched the Dick Van Dyke Show, and you know the producer dude, what's his name? Mel Cooley. Well, you remind me a lot of him, but in the best way, because Mel Cooley is cool in his own weird way. But the fact that he's always well dressed in his suits, and he's got the glasses, even though you don't wear glasses, but the sound of your voice sounds just like his to me. So, you know, a lot of times I'm a bit tipsy when I watch it. So, but every time I see Mel Cooley, I'm like, that's Penny. Oh, that's Penny. So don't be insulted. It's a really cool show. I'm sure you've watched it because, you know, you're cool as fuck. So, and if you haven't watched it, it's because it's a fucking good show. Not bad for 1961. So don't be mad. It's a compliment, honestly. Now, Jessica.
What's happening to me?
But if you're into comedy now, like if you're really trying out your comedy chops, watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's on Amazon Prime. It's so funny. Kenny, you probably will like it too, because it's so fucking funny. It takes place in New York City, late 1950s, early 1960s, of a Jewish housewife who tries to break into comedy. So fucking funny. Really, like fucking watch it. It's so good. So I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. I love you guys a lot. Like, it's like having friends, because I don't have a lot of friends, because, you know, my mom said I always march to the beat of a different drummer. And yeah, I found my other drummers. It's like we have a drum line now. So I love it. I can't wait to meet you guys. Oh, speaking of meeting you guys, if you can ever like hook up with the NJ Para Unity conference, whatever. It's like in November, I think. And they always have like really cool guests, but like Adam, Amy, Chip, and such. Chip is going to be there, I believe, this year, not Adam or Amy. But they need you guys. They need you guys. And he was on, this guy, John Ruggiero, I think he was on an episode with Adam and Amy at the episode in Union, New Jersey. So anyway, I'm going on and on. Try to get your asses there so I can get there to see you, because, you know, it's close for me. and I don't really travel or have the money to. So get your asses there, please. Okay, that is it.
Cut off.
Then it cut off. I think I was supposed to do New Jersey Para-Unity once. I don't know why I didn't. I think I was scheduled to do something else that weekend.
I know. I feel like somebody else asked us to do it, or something happened. Like
I think Adam asked me to do it.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's always during something else. I feel like, but we could just do an East Coast event. It doesn't have to be somebody else's convention. That's for sure.
By the way, Mel Cooley from the Dick Van Dyke Show. Richard Deacon, career character actor Richard Deacon. Wait until you see what he looks like. It'll make you laugh so hard.
Oh, you think I wasn't already Googling what he looks like when she was talking? Shit.
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say, I feel like you need glasses like that. I think that'd be a good look.
I have to grow my hair donut out.
I know. Well, you don't have to do that, but if you got some thick glasses, I think that'd be a vibe. But
seminal character actor Richard Deacon also plays in a great episode of The Twilight Zone.
Sick.
And he was also in the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
At least she thought she was going to be insulting you, but she knew you would get it.
Yeah, I get it. That was back when Hollywood would hire someone that looked like me.
Now what?
Now you got to be all cut and ripped and your fake hair and your fake teeth and fake chin and your fake lips and fake eyes and
yeah, those people and their fake eyes. Oh, what was I gonna say? Do you watch Marvelous Miss Maisel or no?
I have not, because it is a Tony Shalhoub vehicle.
No. No. Is he in it? Or
yeah, he's won multiple like Emmys for his performances in it.
I don't want to watch it. Okay. Chris Pratt and Tony Shalhoub have no business here on this podcast. I think numerous people have told me to watch that. That and that Fleabag show. Last message.
Hi, this is Chris.
Wait,
I'm calling from Bridgewater, New Jersey.
That's the one I just played.
Yeah.
It was really weird calling, but
no, wait.
I have something to like.
Cut that out.
No, I'm gonna leave that in.
No.
Yeah.
The last one.
Again.
Last message.
Hey there, Jess and Tiny and Toad. This is Doug Scarborough Fisher, a longtime listener, first-time caller. And I wanted to call and talk about our cinematic masterpiece, Titanic. Okay, now that Tiny is horrified, what I want to talk about, although Billy Zane is a national treasure.
Yes.
I actually am a Ghostbusters cosplayer, and to the point where I actually make my own equipment and stuff. And it's interesting, when we go out to the events, there's some people that come up and go, "Oh, hey, is this real?" We have to go, no, it's a movie. It's a movie. It's this is all, lights and sounds and stuff. But some people very specifically come up to us and go, "Hi, I'm having these paranormal things going on. Could you guys help me?" And some of the other people in the group, wind up just like rolling their eyes and walking away. But I'm one of the folks that is interested in the paranormal, so I usually wind up talking with these people and at least going, here's some things you could do, try to take your house back, write down what's happening, check and see if there's, gas leaks or something, like at least try to be helpful. But it is just so funky, people coming up and going, "Oh, you're dressed as a Ghostbuster. Here, we're going to show you our paranormal pictures." And you still have to go, "Okay, that looks like dust. It looks like a camera strap." And it's just so funky. Thank you guys so much. Love listening to What's Up Weirdo. It's one of my favorite podcasts ever. It's just so fun. It just seems like listening to friends. Thank you guys. Hope you have a good day. Bye.
Bye. I've always found it really fascinating because at comic book conventions and horror conventions, you have these huge groups of people cosplaying as Ghostbusters, and the majority of them have absolutely no interest in the paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like asking, like we were talking about Michael Myers cosplay, like, what are you going to ask him questions about fucking being a serial killer? It's not real.
Well, and the other thing is too, like, I don't think this is, you always will hear people say like if I do a news interview, behind me, they're going to play like either the X-Files music or Ghostbusters theme. Mm-hmm. Like that's the way the news does it. And so I've always found it funny when paranormal people are really, really into Ghostbusters, because it kind of perpetuates the fact that we're going to keep having Ghostbusters played behind us every time. Like, oh God, haven't we gotten away from this yet?
Aren't we serious ghost hunters yet? After hokey Circus, Ghostbusters music behind us.
I get it though. People like their stuff. I just don't know.
People like nostalgia. Some people's nostalgia is different than yours, and you just don't particularly like Ghostbusters, and that's fine.
I was just too old when Ghostbusters came out. I was 13 or 14. I had already met like real witches and people who were really hunting for ghosts. And so when it came out and everybody was exposed to ghost busting, I was watching it. And even back then I was like, this isn't what they do.
Kenny doesn't like fun.
Well, and even in the movie, like Bill Murray's character doesn't believe in ghosts.
Mm-hmm. He's just on the job like a plumber.
Yeah, his character is actually kind of creepy if you watch that movie.
The last time I watched Ghostbusters 1 and 2, I was in Chicago in a hotel, and I had the best view, and it was awesome. I felt rich, but I am not rich. I'm like, I'm just going to watch my little movie and order food, and it was fun. That's all we got for this episode. There's still a lot of messages chilling. We're still trying to get through these. So call whenever you want, and we'll play it when we get to it.
What's the number?
The number is 313-444-5170.
Perfect.
Thank you. Everybody's messages were so good I mean, they're always good, but I feel like this one was very diverse, and the callers were from all over, and I like hearing everybody's voices and thoughts and compliments about us.
I'm going to give you your word of the week for something new.
Portal.
No, not portal. You've heard that word before. I'm going to try and give you a new word. Maybe you haven't heard it. If you have, good for you.
What is it?
Petrichor.
Petrichor. What word origin? What am I supposed to ask for? How do they do it?
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. What's the word origin?
Yeah. Sounds like it's giving me like sequoia, like redwood forest, like petrichor. Like a wood.
Interesting.
Like what's that? Petrified wood. That's what I'm getting.
Oh, interesting. So, okay, so Petra, rock.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you're good with petrified, Petra, meaning rock. And then the last half is core, which is like the blood of God.
Jeez.
So before it rains, it smells like petrichor.
No, we talked about this on the pod before. I thought it was something on the grass.
Well, that's geosim. That's a different thing. That's the way the bacteria in the grass smells once it starts to rain. But right before it rains, you start to smell petrichor.
Nice. I like it.
You start to smell the damp rocks.
You're a damp rock.
That's the truest shit that's ever been said on this podcast.
All right. I think we're done here. Oh my God.
Can we title this one "You're a Damp Rock"?
Well, we could, but I was going to do Sasquatch Burst of Love. That's way better.
Oh, yeah, that is way better.
I know. That's it.
All right, you're good with them.
Okay.
All right, I'm all done.
You're still a damp rock in our hearts.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you never.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.